Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NBA Tournament Strategy Show. And today we have a fantastic four-gamer on deck. Something we can really dig into, synthesize a little bit easier than the gigantic 12 gamers. But yesterday was a pretty good day. I don't know how everyone else did, but yesterday I feel like we kind of knocked it out of the park. I was ready to get on the show and say my biggest mistake was having Bobby Portis as a core, but Bobby Portis was actually in the $100,000 winning lineup, so no major mistakes there. This is the winning lineup from last night, the 100K nuts line. It had Devin Booker. We were really high. If you were on the pre-lock show yesterday, which is the show that comes on at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, is where I show exactly what I'm doing on the slate and how I use the domination station. Really recommend joining that show. It's when we really dig a little bit deeper into some of these games. You have to be a VIP member for that. Feel free to click the link that's in the description and use my promo code BOB for a 10% discount. That's the best way to join that show. Also, while we're at it, the pre-lock show will happen tonight. I will more than likely not be posting this show or the pre-lock show tomorrow, and I'm more than likely be able to join the tournament tactics show either on Friday due to the hurricane and tropical storm that's coming up. My internet usually freaks out when there's storms going on, so I'll try to make sure you guys don't have to deal with that trouble. But back to last night's slate, we did great there. Kevin Durant was one of the tournament option GPPs. I had a little bit of Kevin Durant, but definitely wish I had more. I think that would have made yesterday, it would have took yesterday from good to great for me if I had more Kevin Durant. Clint Capella, I wasn't really super high on Capella either, so having more exposure to him would have helped a ton. But guys like Javion Carter, I definitely increased my exposure to him. He was one of the guys we boosted yesterday, if you guys recall that. Marjon Beauchamp and Brooke Lopez, I wasn't as high on them, but I definitely left both of them in my pool. So overall, I think my best line hit like 390-ish. So definitely good, not great. It would have been fantastic if we could have went a little bit higher and maybe I literally back tested this yesterday's slate, and all I had to do was increase my exposure to Marjon and Brooke Lopez by like 10%, and I surpassed the nuts line. So definitely a few ways we could have gone yesterday. Was a good, not great day, but definitely felt good to have a solid one under our belt. But hey, yesterday it's in the past. Screw it. Don't care about it anymore. Let's focus on today's slate. Hey, let's go. Aaron, nice job, man. Aaron said, Josiah, I finally got a first place finish in NBA tiers. Thanks for the content, man. Greatly appreciate it. Hey, fantastic job, Aaron. Love seeing people take first and take down tournaments. It's freaking fantastic. It's a feeling that I hope more members can feel because it's literally out of this world. Love to see it, Chad, man. I don't know if you're TK Moss, but love to see you, man. If you are, you're one of the really good coaches we have at DFS Army as well. All right, let's dig into today's slate. The most important thing about this slate is that the vast majority of the teams on it played last night. So what does that mean? That means, once again, we have to keep a really good pulse on the news. We're going to get some weird news that comes in due to a lot of these teams being on the back end of a back-to-back. The teams that we need to watch out for the most with this are the Dallas Mavericks. We already know that Christian Wood's going to be out and Davis Bertans. Definitely a situation that we're going to need to keep a good eye on, because if they have one more guy go down, then this could be an all-in situation. The Charlotte Hornets, we already know LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, and Cody Martin will be out on this slate. But there's always a chance that more guys could be out on the back end of the back-to-back. Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young was questionable yesterday. He ended up playing. This is the second half of a back-to-back. but there's an increased likelihood that Trae Young might not play today. So another situation we have to keep an eye out on. The Pelicans, same situation, second half of back-to-back. Portland Trailblazers, second half of back-to-back. Key difference here is yesterday we were all in on the Trailblazers because Jerami Grant was out, Yusuf Nurkic was out, Keon Johnson and Gary Payton were all out. It looks like today the team, all those guys might be healthy outside of Gary Payton. So Trailblazers won't be as exciting to get exposure to tonight if that's the case. But if those guys end up being out, we can play the Trailblazers once again tonight. Outside of that, I think we're good to go. But we've seen it time and time again. Definitely be on the lookout for some random guy to be out tonight. But all right, let's dig into this Mavericks against the Washington Wizards game. First off, Christian Wood is out. I think the guy who sees the biggest boost here is Maxi Kleber. Kleber, we were able to see him get 33 minutes in the last time out. Josh Green saw 25 minutes with Christian Wood out. So those are two guys we can definitely keep an eye out for. Tim Hardaway Jr. has also seen a nice increase. He had a 3.9% usage rate increase and a 0.09 fantasy point increase per minute with Christian Wood out. So he's another guy who sees a boost on this team with Christian Wood out. Ultimately, for me, this is a situation that I'm just going to want exposure to. I would love if we see more guys get out on this team. But as of right now, where I'm at is Luka Doncic is the go-to guy on the Mavericks side of things. And then I'm okay just having some exposure, probably close to matching the field on guys like Kleber, Tim Hardaway, Josh Green, who just sees some boost and increase. Because ultimately it's going to come down to the rotation who actually sees the best ceiling here. And as of right now, I don't have a great take on that. Like, I wouldn't even be shocked if like a guy like Dorian Finney can have a ceiling game tonight as well. So ultimately, I'm going to let the domination station decide where I land for the most part on the Mavericks, but I do know I want to be really high on Luka Doncic. On the Washington Wizards sides of things, Bradley Beal will be out once again. Corey Kispert, he's down here like 3,300. Started last time out with Bradley Beal out. Kispert is a low usage, low points per minute guy. He didn't do much with the increase in minutes, and he didn't see the usage. I think really where the usage moves to is Kristaps Porzingis, who had a 32.1% usage rate last time out with Beal off the floor. Kyle Kuzma also sees a nice increase. He sees a 3.1% usage increase with Bradley Beal off the floor. So for me, I'm really interested in when guys like Kyle Kuzma and Kristaps Porzingis so early, at least really early in the slate or in the day as of right now. I'm really excited about playing guys like Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma. I love their ceiling. Nice mid-price guys. Love it. And Dave, you are right. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Here at DFS Army, we're getting close to 10K subscribers. So would love to be a part of that. It's been great seeing this channel grow more and more, and definitely want everyone to be a part of it. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss the videos and contents that we do for a ton of different sports. Will Barton is a guy who people keep asking me about Will Barton. I haven't been too high on him thus far, but he definitely has been the guy that I would rather go to other than Kispert. He's seen the most increase in efficiency since Bradley Beal's been out. So I definitely am totally fine getting exposure to Barton. I'm not super interested in Corey Kispert. Outside of that, I don't think there's really anything too special about this game. Jordan Goodwin, he's someone that I forgot to talk about. He has really been the biggest beneficiary to Bradley Beal being out. His minutes, he's been scoring like roughly 33 points in the last two games. So he's definitely kind of created a solid floor for himself. His price has increased. Jordan Goodwin's price has increased, so I'm slightly less interested in him at this price tag. And there's so many guys that we just went through that just aren't seeing 30 minutes. And those of you guys who have been following me for a while who know my style, if we're playing these fringe guys who aren't hitting 30 minutes, I'm not going to be very high on them. I'm just going to have some exposure to them in my 150 lines. If there's not minute consistency there, the odds of me being high on the guy is just going to be lower. So that's how I feel about that game. In regards to the Hornets and Miami Heat game, again, this is one where the Hornets are coming off of a back-to-back. Cody Martin is out. Gordon Hayward's out. LaMelo Ball's out. Terry Rozier has not been getting it done for us. I've been on the Terry Rozier train for a while. He has a 26.4% usage rate, which is really good, and 1.05 fantasy points per minute, which is also really good. But the price tag just keeps moving up, and he's just barely hitting value, even at the lower price tag. Terry Rozier, this is hard to say. Like, the matchup isn't great either. I think I'm going to be lower on Terry Rozier. I feel like I've been on the train for a long time. He's had some strong performances for us, but I think this is where I'm going to get off. We'll see. There's definitely a lot more research I need to do to see if I'm actually going to make that final decision. But as of right now, I'm just not very high on Terry Rozier. Kelly Oubre had a good night last night. Definitely was starting to get worried when I saw those threes falling. So thankfully he calmed down a little bit. So definitely a ceiling spot for Kelly Oubre. We know if those shots fall, he's on fire. Dennis Smith Jr. had a decent night last night as well. I'm sure I might get some exposure to him if we don't get any injury news where there's more value I like more. But as of right now, Dennis Smith Jr. is just a solid mid-value play at the point guard position. The part of this game that I'm more excited about is the Miami Heat side. This is a fantastic matchup for them. The Hornets haven't been able to stop really anyone. I'm going to give a warning, like some red flags, if I can, just like put them all up, all over, just all around me. I'm about to mention Bam Adebayo's name. Geek told me a few days ago, I think he was like, "Yeah, you mention Bam Adebayo all the time, Josiah, and I just don't do it." And I think it's because Bam Adebayo faces the Hornets a good bit, and we always say bigs against the Hornets, and it just doesn't come through. So I'm giving that warning because once again, I'm saying Bam Adebayo against the Hornets. I like this spot for him. Feels like a nice, solid ceiling spot. It feels that way probably every time. He's still not priced above 8K. I'm totally fine and kind of like getting exposure to Bam in this spot tonight. I think Jimmy Butler is another guy you can consider. He hasn't really been good this season, but he's definitely still efficient. I think if he sees slightly more minutes and shoots slightly more and gets an increase in usage, I think this could be a fantastic spot for Jimmy Butler. Of course, if Tyler Hero, who's questionable right now, is out, even better for Jimmy Butler. So definitely guys we can consider. Kyle Lowry is definitely going to stay in the pool. Mason Plumlee has been surprisingly efficient as of late. He is priced slightly higher, so we're not getting the same value on him. But we'll see what the rest of the center slate looks like. But Mason Plumlee can be in your player pool, believe it or not. Outside of that, there's more fringe plays. I think like James Bouknight wouldn't shock me if he had a random ceiling night. Would feel better about playing James Bouknight if we get more injuries. Caleb Martin, he's questionable right now. We'll see if he plays. But definitely some interesting pieces in this game. The spread is the scariest part. The spread's just, it keeps increasing. I think it was at 10.5 maybe just an hour ago. Now it's at 11. I don't like to play or try to predict blowouts, so that's why I'm totally fine still playing guys like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. But if you're looking for a reason to fade these guys, it's the blowout risk. Next up, we have the Sixers against the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I've already mentioned that there's a ton of injury news that we're waiting for in this game. PJ Tucker's also questionable. So that's another piece of big news. If PJ Tucker ends up being out, we can play guys like Georges Niang, Paul Reed, even like Daniel House Jr., maybe even Mateus Thybulle to varying levels of degrees. So definitely some things to consider based on the injury news we get. But as of right now, I love Joel Embiid. Final. That's all I have to say. Like I love Joel Embiid tonight in this spot. Uh, he saw plenty of minutes last time out. He finally surpassed the 50 burger. Would love if he can hit like 60, 70 tonight. That's fantastic. This is a great matchup for him. Love facing off against Clint Capella. No issues for me there. I think Tyrese Maxey is also in play. As of right now, I'm not going to create a rule or anything like that separating them. I think Tyrese Maxey has all the ceiling in the world in a matchup like this, and with James Harden out, I like Maxey and Embiid. Tobias Harris on a small slate, I'm always fine getting some exposure to him, but that's not really super exciting. On the other side of this, I would love it if Trae Young was out. If Trae Young is out, this slate could be magical. DeJounte Murray would be a near lock for me. Even still, if with both of them healthy, I'll probably just be close to matching the field on them. Nothing special. I went right over D'Anthony Melton. Still love him. Probably one of the better, cheaper guards on the slate. Onyeka Okongwu is also someone we can consider on a slate like this. It's just a short slate. He's a short value. I mean, he's a solid value, solid floor minutes wise. He's been splitting minutes with Clint Capella. I think Clint Capella is a fine play. He was in the nuts last night. I'm never super high on Capella, and I mentioned this on the pre-lock show or this show yesterday. People always mention, hey, like maybe we should play Clint Capella or whoever Embiid is facing off against because I'm sure they'll need his size and more minutes. I've said that before too. It's just I feel like we don't see that often enough. Yeah, sometimes the big might see more minutes, but they might get into foul trouble or they are facing an elite defender in Joel Embiid, and so they just score pretty shitty. Like, it's something that I'm keeping an eye on this season in particular. I don't think we have to go there, but if Clint Capella ends up being popular, then I'm going to be very under. If he ends up staying around ownership wise 11, 10%, whatever, I'm fine. Just kind of matching the field on him. That was a long ramble about something that I'm not even that passionate about, but thoughts, I guess. Next game is the Portland Trail Blazers against the New Orleans Pelicans. This is a game that I'm not too excited about. Damian Lillard played last night. I actually wrote Damian Lillard up as a leverage play, like 10 minutes pre-lock. He didn't crush or anything. He was actually struggling for a while. He did look better than he did in his original return from injury. So I'm not like afraid to play Damian Lillard. It's just back to back coming off from an injury. I wouldn't be shocked if he sat tonight actually, but definitely something that just an overall situation I'm not too excited about when everyone's healthy, which as of right now, it seems like most of the people who were out yesterday will be back tonight, which just makes me less excited in this entire situation in game, unless someone ends up being out. For the Pelican side of it, similar story when everyone's healthy. Zion, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. I'm less excited about those guys. Jonas Valanciunas is still cheap enough where I feel like he has a ceiling, so I'm more excited about Jonas Valanciunas, but still not super excited. This is a team filled with high usage guys, and so I typically like to target them more so when one of their stars are out. Drew Eubanks was fun to play last night. I don't think we'll be able to go back there tonight with if everyone comes back healthy. But yeah, guys, I mean, in a nutshell, that's this slate. Highly recommend you guys come back for the pre-lock show. I know that's one of the more popular shows I do because on that show we're actually starting to boost guys, and we know what guys we want to go under on, what guys we want to go over on. So definitely recommend you guys join the pre-lock show. But I really appreciate you guys joining this one and look forward to seeing you guys later. Peace.